Today we're looking at one of London's deadliest rivalries. The two sets involved are Manor Park and Drillford. This war is made particularly fierce by the gangs' close proximity to one another. The gangs' respective territories are separated by nothing more than a road, and their fallen members are even buried in the same graveyard. Manor Park is a set in the E12 postcode of East London. They are one of the richest gangs in the city, running a massive drugs operation. But as you'll soon find out, they are also one of the most violent. Across the A406 is Ilford, home to the appropriately named set, Drillford, an equally dangerous set. It's unclear how the two gangs' beef started. It's speculated it began when Drillford members robbed the cousin of a Manor Park member named Farmer. Regardless, sometime around 2016, stabbings and shootings began between the two sets. For example, Farmer shot Giddy, a Drillford rapper, in the head, leaving him on life support. On a separate occasion, Farmer and his close friend Snypes actually caught Giddy again and stabbed him, putting him back on life support. Luckily, Giddy survived again. Farmer made reference to the Giddy stabbing in a prison freestyle.
With a dotty near my hip, Snypes got the first book before Giddy slipped. The nigga was at Aki, but we cut him like a pig.
Inside, shit the I ain't telling no lies. Boyfriend and girlfriend both got fried. Giddy got chinked and he almost died. Snypes had him looking like Frankenstein.
The first death in the beef would come on the 8th of April 2019. Nizz, an ex-Manor Park member, was in a mosque. Little did he know, outside 4 Drillford members were waiting in a car. When Nizz left the mosque, 3 of the Drillford members hopped out and began shooting. Nizz was hit and fell, but his attackers didn't stop. They ran up to him and began stabbing his body. The brutal way in which Nizz got killed is often mocked by his ops.
I got my guys, shot and shank survive, shot and shanked and this beef is far from time.
Saving him, Nizz did run for the car and died. Courageous team, whenever I step.
No one has been found guilty for the murder. Nizz's death really amplified the beef. This is because he was very close to a lot of Manor Park members and they would be out for revenge. 2 months after Nizz's death, Snypes and Farmer were driving around when they spotted a group of Drillford members. The pair hopped out of the car and began chasing them. Unfortunately, OS got split up from the rest of the group. Farmer and Snypes then caught up to him and stabbed him 17 times, leaving him for dead. The car the attackers had been riding around in was found burnt out later. Both Farmer and Snypes were charged with the murder. Farmer actually confessed to the killing, but argued he'd lost control and so wasn't guilty of the murder. Farmer also told Snypes to snitch on him in hopes of Snypes getting a reduced sentence. This plan failed though, and Farmer and Snypes were sentenced to 23 and 21 years respectively. The next murder in the war is probably the most brutal I've ever covered on my channel. In September 2019, Speckz, a Manor Park member, carried out a double shooting on a gang closely affiliated with Drillford called ISA. As a result, Sharik Khan, a man who knew Speckz but was also close with the shooting's victims, was furious. So in November of that year, Khan rang Speckz with a plan for the men to hit a lick together. Speckz agreed and later met up with Khan. Unknown to Speckz, Khan was backdooring him and had planned an attack with Drillford members. Khan drove them to a block of flats, where another car immediately followed them in. The car was full of Drillford and ISA members. Speckz fled but was caught in an alley before being slaughtered. Speckz was stabbed over 50 times. These insane numbers of stab wounds were inflicted all over his body, including his head. Most members, but not all involved, were found guilty of murder. A year later, S. Luce, a Manor Park member, was driving a stolen car with 2 other Manor Park members inside when they spotted Yellows, an older ex-Drillford member, on his bike. S. Luce sped up and rammed into Yellows. His 2 passengers then hopped out and shot Yellows, killing him. Yellows tragically left behind a wife and kids. But his attackers weren't done yet. 15 minutes later, they shot someone else in the chest, which is insane considering they were more concerned with trying to kill someone else than properly escape the murder scene they were just responsible for. S. Luce was arrested but never snitched on the 2 shooters. Because he wouldn't cooperate, when he was found guilty, he was sentenced to a harsh 35 years. Meanwhile, the 2 killers remain free. Thankfully, no one would be killed for the next 2 years. Unfortunately, this changed on the 25th of October 2022. On that day, after already being put on life support twice, Giddy's luck would run out. He was chilling in a trap house with a few Drillford members and affiliates. Suddenly, 3 Manor Park members broke in, allegedly including Speck's younger brother, seeking personal revenge. One of the attackers was wearing a Joker mask. This man began shooting, hitting 3 victims. The group then stabbed the 3 guys already shot. The victims included Giddy and his cousin Zach. The pair were sadly killed.
I jumped straight into the house and I see 3 bodies. One body was finished, gone. The other body, he was choking out blood. It was coming out from his mouth and nose. And then the third one, he just had a gunshot wound in his stomach. So I focused on him a lot more. But that house has been it's been a problematic house anyway, man, for a long time, long time.
This double homicide received media coverage everywhere in the UK. A couple Manor Park members, including Speck's younger brother, are currently awaiting trial for the double homicide. I hope this shows the streets lead to nothing but death and jail. Speck's mother now has one dead son and one who will probably spend the rest of her life in jail. Rest in peace to everyone mentioned who has died. If you'd like me to make more UK drill content, let me know by liking the video. Subscribe so you don't miss more of this series. Check out some of the other videos on my channel on screen now.